Einigkeit und Recht und Freiheit für das deutsche Vaterland. Yes, we're doing another video on German, so guten fucking Tag, ladies and gentlemen. I had a lot of requests to make another video about the German language, and here we go, here we are. So let's talk about it. Today we are talking about German youth language. You might not even know that there's something like young Germans, because the only Germans you see are usually old and have sick, heavy accents. But there is such a thing as German kids. There even is German chavs. First of all, German is quite a goofy language. It's a very happy place these days. You know, German's in an alright state. Like, everything's going well over there. Especially when you see most modern countries completely collapse under coronavirus. Germany's doing okay. The biggest issue we have is some crazy mad vegan who's threatening to overthrow the government. We'll be fine, we just throw some meat at him and he'll probably choke to death or something. Let's talk about some German words. One word you have to mind when you go to Germany, especially the northern part of it, is a word that's pronounced Digger. Digger. And that's not some weird racial terms that only Germans can say to other Germans. Digger comes from the German word Dicker, which means fat person. So basically we say to each other like, hey fellow overweight king, how are you doing? Oh, I'm doing well, fellow fat pig. Nice of you to say that. And it's like a term of endearment because being overweight is so cool. If you say digger, never say it with a hard R, then you're in big trouble. Digger, please. We're going to talk about my friends at Langenscheidt. These guys founded a company and thought, how are we going to make a lot of money? I have it. We're going to sell dictionaries with a name that sounds like a abandoned concentration camp. As you could probably figure out, dictionaries, not a big hit with the youth. They care about smoking bongs and vaping them Fortnite Travis Scott flavors more than dictionaries. So what happened is they had a fantastic genius idea. They're going to do a contest every year to decide one youth word, one piece of youth slang that's going to be included in their dictionary officially. This was big. Jugendwort des Jahres. Translated, youth word of the year. As it turns out, a lot more than usual, these would be kind of cringe and not really at all relating to the youth, as anyone could vote online. And most of them are not even words that any kid ever uses. But we love cringe on this channel. I personally adore cringe. So let's dive into it. One of the first examples, one of the very first winners, is a word that's Gammelfleischparty. Gammelfleischparty translates to old meat party or rotten meat party, which is basically an ageist term to describe a party for anyone above the age of like 40, because it must suck, because who above the age of 40 does any fun shit like cocaine? I mean, Germans have never been to Florida, you gotta excuse them. The next term is Niveau limbo, which is like a term that describes when you have a conversation and you lower the standards more and more and more and more. You know, like when you play limbo and you go low. For example, let's say you have a conversation about flower pots and it suddenly evolves into denying that the Holocaust is real. That would be fantastic, Niveau limbo. Great job there. Sometimes it's just English words though. Sometimes we get words like swag or YOLO or bay, and they'll just win because we steal everything from the English speakers because our language is a little bit stupid, so we like to absorb others in it. One of my favorite ones, Babo. Babo basically means boss, and it comes from the Turkish speakers in Germany. And when you say you're the Babo, you're saying like you're the king, you're the boss. Like, I am the Babo of all German YouTubers because their content sucks and mine's the best. And that's not just an example, I'm just speaking facts here. I mean, someone has to say it. Läuft bei dir. Läuft bei dir would literally translate to, it's walking for you, you know, like it's going for you. It means like you're doing well. Even though like at the moment, it's not really walking for anyone. It's more like a slow, painful crawl waiting for things to end. Fly sein. Basically being fly, having the drip on point, being iced out on the neck, all that good stuff. Ehrenmann, this is a great one. Ehrenmann is just a sound lad. You know, when you're like going out and there's this one guy who walks you home and who makes sure you're okay. Ehrenmann. When you're a little bit short for the bus and some stranger gives you the change you need for the ticket. Ehrenmann. For example, if you're in an anti-corona demonstration and one of your friends hits one of the demonstrators with a brick, that's an Ehrenmann. Another one I really like is Tinderjährig, which comes from the German word minderjährig, which means when you're off age. When you... But it's kind of fun play of word because it means, basically this means you're old enough to go on Tinder, which I don't really understand why that has anything to do with sex, because I only use Tinder to find friends. Another word is verbugged, which means like buggy or glitchy, like a computer program. And this was the youth word of the year in like 2015, 16, I'm not entirely sure. But basically the year when Germany found out that the internet exists. Another one is desktop tan, like monitor tan, Bildschirmbräune. This is a good one. It means the pale skin you have when you sit in front of your computer all day. If you need a good example, just look at me. Now we're getting into the controversial ones. One of the big controversies about this was a word called harzen. Harzen. Which basically is a verb that describes the process of being on benefits, doing nothing, not working, and just chilling out your life, you know? Like I do most of the time. As we all know, living on benefits and doing nothing has never been a point of contention or intense political discussion, so we can probably move on. One of the big words was something called a Kevin, like the name, Kevin, because us Germans think it's hilarious to use normal ass names as insults. You fucking Simons. Kevin is the worst of them all though, because Kevin is just a god-awful name. And if your mum has named you Kevin, she hates you. I'm sorry to break it to you, she hates you. So the word Kevin is a very common insult. We call everyone who's an idiot Kevin. And Alpha Kevin is the biggest Kevin of them all, just the most Kevinist Kevin. An Alpha Kevin. And this was leading votes for Youth Word of the Year until Langenscheidt and his fellow war criminals said, no, this is bullying. We can't bully everyone with the name Kevin, even though they completely deserve it for being named Kevin. So they got rid of the word, and they made the winner a different word, smombie, which comes from the word smartphone, and zombie. It basically describes someone who looks at their phone all day, like this. Surprisingly, no one under the age of 25 had ever said that, because there's an absolute boomer comment who made, phone bad, phone bad, phone bad. I think this shows just how cringe and outdated these people really are. They have no idea what youth slang even is. The big one this year was, the leading word was Hurensohn. My personal and most Germans' personal favorite insult, Hurensohn. Because the year 2020 just is so easily described with a nice, chilled down, rolling off the tongue, Hurensohn. But unfortunately, Langenscheidt didn't think that way. They thought you couldn't just have an insult as youth word of the year, even though Hurensohn is probably said more often than any other German word by the youth. But never mind. They struck it off, and they gave us the chance to put one extra word in. And the meme community came together. The Reddit community came together. German memes and shitposters came together, and they voted the new word to be Mittwoch, which just means Wednesday, because it's Wednesday, my dudes. What you would say in Nazi country? Es ist Mittwoch, meine Kerle. Guess what? It's still open. We're down to 3 finalists, and you can make a difference. You there. Yeah, you can make a difference. The 3 final words are lost, which is someone who's just a lost cause. Like if I would make this video about how Corona is fake and how the mainstream media is manipulating us and the government's trying to control us, then you could put in the comments that I am lost. The second word is wild, sometimes spelled with a Y, because we are all dyslexic. Wild just means, oh, something wild. Oh, wow, that's so wild. It's the same as in English. And the last word, which you should go vote for right now, is the glorious word cringe. Cringe, which is the same as in English, but I just feel like nothing describes this whole contest, the concentration camp named Langenscheidt, and everything else about this better than the word cringe, because they don't know what the youth sounds like. All these words are pretty useless. It's total and utter cringe. So go down in the description, vote for cringe, fight the good fight against the establishment, and bring youth language back to the streets. Am I right? I hope you all enjoyed this video. There's a little bit more German content for you guys. You love this stuff so much. If you want more of that, put it down in the comments. I might make more. I'm quite busy. Otherwise, check out my stand-up videos I have on this channel. Leave a subscribe, a like if you enjoyed. If you don't, then go away and watch something else. I don't know. Go watch Alex Jones. That's all from me. Peace out.